We have as well new video into us this hour that shows how the fighting is intensifying in Gaza City. That is video from Agence France Presse, AFP, showing what it calls a strike on the Hamas-run Ministry of Communications. The building is in the center of Gaza City, just blocks from Al-Shifa and other hospitals. This morning, the United Nations says more than 200,000 people have fled northern Gaza since November the 5th. Briar Stewart, along with Ellen, part of our CBC News team, and Briar is in Jerusalem live for us this hour. Briar, I mentioned that strike close to Al-Shifa, the crisis in Gaza hospitals. That remains very much the focus this morning. What is the latest?
Well, that's right, Heather. We know that there has been fierce fighting around several hospitals now for days, and there are reports that Israeli tanks are basically at the entrance of Al-Shifa. Now, the hospital itself reportedly has hundreds of patients still inside, including more than 30 premature babies. The director of the hospital told me that the babies had to be taken out of the incubators because the incubators had shut down because they had run out of fuel. Now, it is very difficult to verify any details about this hospital ourselves. We've been in contact with a number of doctors. I've spoken to the director several times, but each time that we call, it's either very difficult to get through or the call drops after 30 seconds or a minute. But I did speak with him this morning, and I can tell you in the background, it sounded very chaotic. I could hear children crying. I could hear people's voices. And what officials in the hospital are saying is that outside of Al-Shifa, outside of the complex itself, there are bodies that have been left there because there's fighting going on and these bodies can't be taken to the morgue, they can't be buried. And so what doctors say now is that they're preparing to bury the bodies themselves in the hospital complex, going out to get them and bring them back. Now, Israel has said that it is willing to help with the evacuation of patients, particularly those newborns. That hasn't happened. The Israel military today released a statement saying that it's prepared to offer incubators to the hospital. It's really not clear at all how that would work because we understand that the hospital has incubators, it just doesn't have fuel. And that is still our understanding of the current situation. But obviously, it is very dire, and we are seeing a lot of pressure just around what Israel should be doing and about the hospital themselves. Israel, of course, has blamed Hamas for basically sheltering its operations there. But you now have had the U.S. President Joe Biden weigh in saying that the hospital must be protected.
Yes, that was a striking shift in Joe Biden's language, which we'll talk about in more detail through the morning. So with that pressure again, Israel's military is making some fresh allegations, Briar, about Hamas using these hospitals as strongholds. What is Israel now saying, and what has the response been?
Yes, for quite some time, actually, Israel has been saying that Hamas has tunnels near these hospitals, under these hospitals, even command centers. And yesterday, the Israel Defense Forces released a video which they claim shows a command center under the Al-Rantisi hospital. Now, this is a hospital where the last patients from there were evacuated on Sunday. It's a children's hospital where you had patients even receiving cancer treatment. And a spokesperson with the IDF went there with a camera, releasing a video saying what they believe to be, what they say is, not only a command center for Hamas, but a place where they were holding hostages. There are tunnels nearby. There are baby bottles on the floor. The spokesperson showed curtains that had been strung up on a wall, which she said that there was no reason for them to be there whatsoever, except for filming hostage videos. So Israel is putting this forward as proof of what they've been saying all along, that Hamas is using these hospitals, sheltering behind some of Gaza's most vulnerable. Of course, Hamas has denied this. And I spoke with a Palestinian doctor in the West Bank, Dr. Mustafa Barghouti, who said that he doesn't believe the information that Israel is putting forward. But even if it is true, it doesn't justify the violence going on. Take a listen.
First of all, I don't believe them. Second, they haven't provided any proof of that. They say there are tunnels nearby, near hospitals. What does near mean? It could be 500 meters away or 1,000 meters away. But even if that was true, it doesn't justify bombarding hospitals.
Now, one of the other claims that Hamas has made is that there was a Israeli soldier who was in captivity who has since been killed in an airstrike. Israel has not confirmed, whether the death was a result of an airstrike, but they have said that that Israeli soldier who was taken hostage has been killed. Heather.
Briar, thank you very much. Briar Stewart is in Jerusalem for us this morning.